Okay, good morning. We're back with Leviticus chapter 10. The sin of Nadab and Abihu. Aaron's sons Nadab and Abihu put coals of fire in their incense burners and sprinkled incense over it. In this way they disobeyed the Lord by burning before him a different kind of fire that he had commanded. So the fire blazed forth from the Lord's presence and burned them up, and they died before the Lord. Oh, wow. Then Moses said to Aaron, "This is what the Lord meant when he said, I will show myself holy among those who are near me. I will be glorified before all the people." And Aaron was silent. Then Moses called for Mishael and Elzaphan, Aaron's cousins, the sons of Aaron's uncle Uzel. He said to them, "Come and carry the bodies of your relatives away from the sanctuary to a place outside the camp." So they came forward and carried them out of the camp by their tunics, as Moses had commanded. Then Moses said to Aaron and his sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, "Do not mourn by letting your hair hang loose, or by tearing your clothes. If you do, you will die, and the Lord will be angry with the whole community of Israel. However, the rest of the Israelites, your relatives, may mourn for Nadab and Abihu, whom the Lord has destroyed by fire. But you are not to leave the entrance of the tabernacle under penalty of death, for the anointing oil of the Lord is upon you." So they did as Moses commanded. Instructions for priestly conduct. Then the Lord said to Aaron, "You and your descendants must never drink wine or any other alcoholic drink before going into the tabernacle. If you do, you will die. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be kept by all future generations. You are to distinguish between what is holy and what is ordinary, what is ceremonially unclean and what is clean, and you must teach the Israelites all the laws that the Lord has given through Moses." Then Moses said to Aaron and his remaining sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, "Take what is left of the grain offering after the handful that has been presented to the Lord by fire. Make sure there is no yeast in it, and eat it before the altar, for it is most holy. It must be eaten in the sacred place, for it has been given to you and your descendants as your share of the offering given to the Lord by fire. These are the commandments I have been given. But the breast and the thigh that were lifted up may be eaten at any place that is ceremonially clean. These parts have been given to you and your sons and daughters as your regular share of the peace offerings presented by the people of Israel. The thigh and the breast that are lifted up must be lifted to the Lord along with the fat of the offerings given by the fire. Then they will belong to you and your descendants forever, just as the Lord has commanded." When Moses demanded to know what had happened to the goat of the sin offering, he discovered that it had been burned up. As a result, he became very angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, Aaron's remaining sons. "Why didn't you eat the sin offering in the sanctuary area?" he demanded. "It is a holy offering. It was given to you for removing the guilt of the community and for making atonement for the people before the Lord. Since the animal's blood was not taken into the holy place, you should have eaten the meat in the sanctuary area as I ordered you." Then Aaron answered Moses on behalf of his sons, "So today my sons presented both their sin offering and their burnt offering to the Lord." He said, "This kind of thing has also happened to me. Would the Lord have approved if I had eaten the sin offering today?" And when Moses heard this, he approved. Leviticus chapter 11. Ceremonially clean and unclean animals. So then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Give the following instructions to the Israelites. The animals you may use for food include those that have completely divided hooves and chew the cud. You may not, however, eat the animals named here, because they either have split hooves or chew the cud, but not both. The camel may not be eaten, for though it chews the cud, it does not have split hooves. The same to be true with the rock badger and the hare, so they may also never be eaten. And the pig may not be eaten, for though it has split hooves, it does not chew the cud. You may not eat the meat of these animals or touch their dead bodies. They are ceremonially unclean for you. As for marine animals, you may eat whatever has both fins and scales, whether taken from freshwater or saltwater. You may not, however, eat marine animals that do not have both fins and scales. You are to detest them, and they will always be forbidden for you. You may never eat their meat or even touch their dead bodies. I repeat, any marine animal that does not have both fins and scales is strictly forbidden to you. These are the birds you must never eat because they are detestable for you: the eagle, the vulture, the osprey, the buzzard, kites of all kinds, ravens of all kinds, the ostrich, the light hawk, the seagull, hawks of all kinds, the little owl, the cormorant, the great owl, the white owl, the pelican, the currant vulture, the stork, herons of all kinds, the hoopoe, and the bat. You are to consider detestable all swarming insects that walk along the ground. However, there are some exceptions that you may eat. This includes insects that jump with their hind legs, locusts of all varieties, crickets, bald locusts, and grasshoppers. All these may be eaten, but you are to consider detestable all other swarming insects that walk or crawl. The following creatures make you ceremonially unclean. If you touch any of their dead bodies, you will be defiled until evening. If you move the dead body of an unclean animal, you must immediately wash your clothes, and you will remain defiled until evening. Any animal that has divided but unsplit hooves, and that does not chew the cud, is unclean for you. If you touch the dead body of such an animal, you will be defiled until evening. Of the animals that walk on all fours, those that have paws are unclean for you. If you touch the dead body of such an animal, you will be defiled until evening. If you pick up or move its carcass, you must immediately wash your clothes, and you will remain defiled until evening. Of the small animals that scurry or creep on the ground, these are unclean for you: the mole, the mouse, the great lizard of all varieties, the gecko, the monitor lizard, the common lizard, the sand lizard, and the chameleon. All these animals are unclean for you. If you touch the dead body of such an animal, you will be defiled until evening. If such an animal dies and falls on something, that object, whatever its use, will be unclean. This is true whether the object is made of wood, cloth, leather, or sackcloth. It must be put into water, and it will remain defiled until evening. After that, it will be ceremonially clean and may be used again. If such an animal dies and falls into a clay pot, everything in the pot will be defiled, and the pot must be smashed. If the water used to cleanse an unclean object touches any food, all that food will be defiled. And any beverage that is in such an unclean container will be defiled. Any object on which the dead body of such an animal falls will be defiled. If it is a clay oven or cooking pot, it must be smashed to pieces. It has become defiled, and it will remain that way. However, if the dead body of such an animal falls into a spring or a cistern, the water will still be clean, but anyone who removes the dead body will be defiled. If the dead body falls on a seed grain to be planted in the field, the seed will still be considered clean, but if the seed is wet when the dead body falls on it, the seed will be defiled. If an animal that is permitted for eating dies and you touch its carcass, you will be defiled until evening. If you eat any of its meat or carry away its carcass, you must wash your clothes, and then you will remain defiled until evening. Consider detestable any animal that scurries along the ground. Such animals may never be eaten. This includes all animals that slither along on their bellies, as well as those with 4 legs and those with many feet. All such animals are to be considered detestable. Never defile yourselves by touching such animals. After all, I, the Lord, am your God. You must be holy because I am holy. So do not defile yourselves by touching any of these animals that scurry along the ground. I, the Lord, am the one who brought you up from the land of Egypt to be your God. You must therefore be holy because I am holy. These are the instructions regarding the land animals, the birds, and all the living things that move through the water or swarm over the earth. So you can distinguish between what is unclean and may not be eaten, and what is clean and may be eaten. Okay, and with that, I'll be back later today with chapter 12.